Hello, how's everybody doing? As you pop on, please tell me hello so I'll know that you're here. I'm going to write down the name of each person who is participating in the fast track this week so I can help keep you motivated and keep you going. So if you are on here, I need to know your name because I'm assuming you're doing fast track this week. My name is Kim Danke. I'm your fast instructor. Awesome. Beth Holcomb. That is fantastic. You guys, when you do the chat, if you don't mind, set your chat to all panelists and attendees. That way everybody can see any question that you might ask. If you set it to all panelists, I'm the only one that sees it. But if you do all panelists and attendees, everybody can see that. So I've got, looks like I've got Peggy. Hey, Peggy. I just met Peggy yesterday over in Birmingham. Peggy's going to do the fast track this week. And I just met Beth last week in Marietta. Awesome. And if you are watching on Facebook, I can't see your comments right now because I'm in the Zoom room. But if you are going to do the fast track this week, please just type in, I'm in. That way I can write you on my list of people here so I can keep up with it. Because I want to know who's doing fast track. I have decided to try something new with that. That's something I haven't done yet. So please let me know if you're doing the fast track this week. All right, Miss Sharon Harden is on. That's awesome. And I always give everybody until 8:03. Yep, it's 8:03 to get on here before I get started. So if you are watching on Facebook, please don't think I'm ignoring you. I just don't see your chat. But if you are going to be doing the fast track, please type in, I am in for fast track. And whoever is Galaxy Note 8, please type your name in the chat so I'll know who you are and I can write you on my list for fast track. So whoever just popped on here whose name is Galaxy Note 8, please type that in. Yay, and Peggy's in for fast track. That's awesome. Well, we're going to have a great time this week learning the Shibboleth program. And this is how the week works. This group is different than any other Shibboleth Facebook group. This group runs for 1 week. It starts right now and it runs through next Saturday. We are going to have this live webinar, and then tomorrow night at this same time, we're going to have another live webinar, and it's just going to be on simple food combining. But each morning there's going to be a post that comes out from me that is a video of me showing you how to utilize the website, and it gives you a little assignment. And I give you the assignment, but I kind of expect you to do the assignment, because if you don't do the assignment, there's no way that you're going to just learn the information. You don't just absorb things. You've got to put forth some effort into them. So I ask that you do the assignment. And all you got to do is comment underneath that post with whatever I'm asking you. And you'll have a better experience and you'll learn a lot more if you do the assignments. If you don't do the assignments, I'm not responsible for the knowledge that you've gained this week, okay? All right, so welcome to Shibboleth. Don't worry about these text things right now. It's going to be in the assignment. Karen, what's your last name? For Galaxy Note 8. What's your last name, Karen? And can y'all hear somebody laughing in the background here at my house? If so, that was my husband. He's in the other room watching America's Funniest Home Videos, and that is how loud he was laughing. Okay, Beth, I was thinking, oh my goodness, can people hear that? Okay, so there's going to be some texting that I want you to do to make sure that you're getting all of the notifications from Shibboleth. So these are the keywords and everything, but it's going to be in a post, so don't worry about writing that down. All right. So I'm the type person that just follows the rules, just follows the rules. I don't hear a rule and then go, oh, but can I do this? But can I do that? I just do what Travis tells me to do. Travis is a phenomenal, first of all, phenomenal person to determine that he lose over 100 pounds. And over 20 years ago, he did that. He has kept it off, and his ministry has been teaching other people how to do this. And I just think very highly of him because of that. That is awesome. Okay. So, Beth, tomorrow, if you go to the class in Cartersville, you will go to that class from 6 to 7. Then you'll leave and go home. This webinar tomorrow night is at 8. So you will not miss this webinar if you go to Cartersville. You'll have an hour to get home and then get on that, because I'm doing the same exact thing. I'll be teaching in Cartersville, and then I'll be coming back home to do this webinar. So we should be able to do that, Beth. And Kim A, what's your last name, Kim? I'm writing you on my list of people that are doing the fast track this week, because I'm gonna keep up with y'all differently than I have in the past. Kim Allen. Okay, awesome. Now, Karen and Kim, where are you guys from? And if you don't mind too, tell me Nashville. Okay. And Kim, are you here for a refresh or are you brand new? Refresh. Okay, awesome. And Karen, where are you from? And hey, Jerry. Hey, Jerry, I'm writing you down, Jerry. Okay, so hopefully Karen, Karen, Chattanooga. Okay, awesome. Karen is new. Okay, awesome. Well, I'm going to try to keep up with y'all in a different way that I have in the past. This week, I'm going to try something new and see how I like it and see how you guys like it. So that's why I wanted to know that information. Okay, so what tonight is all about is it's a program overview. Now, because my background is education, I just boil everything down to the basics, okay? And I am going to show you this week how to do Shibboleth. You got to come up with your why. And that is one of the fast track videos that is coming up with your why. And in that video, I ask you to write down some things and create some nightstand rules, some things that you can read when you wake up in the morning, read when you go to bed at night, just to always keep why you're doing this at the top of your mind. That's very, very important. You got to have a strong why. But I'm all about the how. And then we also have to do the why. So, but tonight and this week's going to be about mainly the how. There are 2 modes in Shibboleth, just 2 modes. You're either in weight loss mode or you're in maintenance mode. We also interchangeably call maintenance wellness, okay? So it's weight loss or maintenance or wellness. Now, I want you to know there are only 2 differences between these 2 modes. One is the number of holidays that you get to use in a month if you choose to use them. And 2 is how you use fruit in your meal plans. There's only 2 differences. That's it. Now, you're in weight loss until you hit your goal weight. Once you hit your goal weight, then you can move to maintenance. And it changes the number of holidays and you can eat fruit differently. But until you hit your goal weight, just make sure your profile, which is one of the days I'm how to use your profile. If you haven't already figured it out by playing on the website, you're going to put yourself in weight loss. The reason that's important is because your timing chart will show you how many holidays that you can get by having the right mode chosen in your profile. There are 2 types of days in Shibboleth. You're either having a perfect day or a holiday. So there's no, I'm unsure of what type of day I'm having or anything like that. You're either having a perfect day or a holiday. And there are some different types of perfect days, but that's not what we're going to worry about this week. We're getting the basics down this week because in order to move into different types of perfect days, which are stricter type of days that people choose to use, I want you to know regular Shibboleth first, okay? And this is letting you learn regular Shibboleth. So it's either a perfect day or a holiday. Before I move on, what determines if you have a holiday is just that you are not meeting some component of what we say is a perfect day. So it can be as simple as not getting enough water in. It'd be a holiday, okay? So we're going to go over that in just a second. You can have up to 6 holidays in a calendar month in weight loss. Then once you hit maintenance, you can utilize up to 12 holidays in a month, in a calendar month. And when you're in this maintenance area, what is keeping you from like regaining weight is one, a lot of your habits will change anyway, and you're not doing things as extreme as maybe you were before, or you're just on those other perfect days, you are keeping those other perfect days truly perfect. You're not letting them go into okay days. So that's how you maintain your weight loss, having up to 12 holidays in a month, which is really half the month. But all that we're going to talk about this week is we're going to talk about 6, okay? But you know what? Sometimes you have to hunker down and for a span of time, say to yourself, I am going to do this. I'm going to get off this excess weight that I do not want, and then I can get up to my 12 holidays. But you're going to be happy with the 6 days while you have it, because it's just something that we just need to go ahead and take care of. There's no reason not to just take care of it. So there are 5 components to a perfect day. And I'm going to read them, but then we're going to go over each one. Water, journaling, combinations, portions, and timing. So water, journal, combinations, portions, and timing. And we call that the 5 components of a perfect day. We call that following the Shibboleth Shield. And Shibboleth is really it's a Hebrew word from the book of Judges, and it's a password, and a password is a secret. And we have found the secrets to weight loss. And so we're really, really excited about that. So that's why the Shibboleth Shield is. Travis calls it our bulletproof shield, that if you are utilizing that shield every day, that you will lose weight. You will. I say I filter every decision that I make through those 5 components of that shield, and I live that on a perfect day. It takes 2 perfect days to get into what we call EFB, and I want to tell you, those are going to become your favorite 3 letters, EFB. EFB stands for efficient fat burning. Before Shibboleth, I had no idea that you could get your body into a state where it's going to have to efficiently burn fat. But you can. We're going to talk about that. But in your timing chart, see, in your journal, you're going to mark you have a perfect day. And in your timing chart, you're going to see a green check. And then on your second day, mark you're having a perfect day. You're going to see a green check. On your third day, you mark you're having a perfect day. You get a flame because you have made it to EFB, efficient fat burning. And then you just string as many efficient fat burning days together as you can. Really utilize your weekly timing chart in your account on your website to get a great visual of how your month is going. I also highly, highly suggest that you plan out any holidays that you're going to have in a month ahead of time so that they just don't randomly happen to you, because you need to have a plan about that. But EFB, the reason it takes 2 days to get into EFB is while those 2 days are going on, Insulin is dissipating and leaving your body. Any last sugars and sodium and other things like that are leaving your body. And then that third day, all that stuff's not in there, and you can then remain in a state of efficient fat burning. That's when your body has to access the stored fat that you're trying to get rid of. Because if you've got some stored fat that you're trying to get rid of, it is basically reserve energy. You just got too much energy, and that's the energy we're trying to get to without giving our body easy, accessible energy. We'll talk about that in a second. But right now, we are going to break down each component of the Shibboleth Shield. So component number 1 of the Shibboleth Shield is water. You want to get in at least a half a gallon of water. Your goal is a gallon. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you were working on getting a gallon of water in every day, start early, first of all. And when you start early, you are going to be so much more satisfied during your day. You'll have a lot less problem with hunger and things like that. So make sure you get your water in. And I'm kind of a stickler. 63 ounces is not 64 ounces, okay? So you get to the end of the day and you've had 63 ounces, that's not half a gallon. Half a gallon is 64 ounces. Just get that extra ounce in, because to me, it's all about integrity. You want to keep the integrity of the program. Okay, component number 2 of a perfect day, you want to journal your food. You're journaling your food because you're making very conscious decisions about your food rather than making mindless decisions. So basically, you're doing this mindfully rather than mindlessly. So anything that goes in your mouth, you write it in your journal. You can do it on the app, which that's going to be in one of the posts to download the app. The app is only 99 cents. And when I go to my app, I press the button, I press journal, I press where I want to say what I'm having, and I'll say 2 whole eggs, 2 slices Shibboleth high protein brown bread, 1 wedge Laughing Cow cheese. I just voice it in there, so I don't even type it in. But if I'm at home, I always leave my Shibboleth account up on my computer. I can just pop in here and just type it in. On the computer, it'll also pull up things you've previously eaten. So if you always type it in the same way, you can just choose it from the drop-down menu, which is really, really nice. So you want to journal your food. Journaling your food also helps you to learn the program. So it's going to say, hey, what's the combinations of what you just ate? And you will put that in there. You'll also tell it if what you're having is a meal replacement, is it a snack, an extra, or something like that. So you would write those things in there. So it just helps you learn the program. And you do need to do both of those things to call it a perfect day. Component number 3 of a perfect day is to eat properly combined meals. Properly combined, keep away the fat bus. The fat bus is insulin. And we're going to talk more about that in a minute, but it is extremely important to control insulin, because when you control insulin, you control your ability to efficiently burn fat. Component number 4 of a perfect day is to eat properly portioned meals from a 6 to 8 inch plate using the 2-hand rule. So basically, you're just going to eat off of a smaller plate, and then you're going to use your 2 hands. You put them together like that, as close as you can. And then you just lay them down over your food. And as long as you don't have food sticking out all outside your hands, then you've portion controlled. I love that. I don't have to count calories. I don't have to weigh anything. I don't have to measure anything. I am putting a properly combined meal on my plate. I cover it up with my hands. And that's that. You also don't want it to be any thicker than the thickest part of your hand. So the way I like to explain that is you're not piling up a Thanksgiving meal plate. Okay, so it still needs to be properly portioned. You won't be able to see it, and no thicker than the thickest part of your hand. But you have to take into mind, let's say that you've got a Longhorn and you order a steak, and that 6-ounce steak, which is a reasonably sized steak, is real high and thick. Well, that's taller than your hand. Well, don't worry about that, because if you cut it up and laid it under there, it would still fit. So sometimes you have to utilize that. But basically, my point is, don't pile up your Thanksgiving or Christmas Day plate. You're just going to eat portion control. The reason we portion control our food is because a pound of fat has 3,500 calories in it. So in order to lose 1 pound of fat, we've got to get into a calorie deficit of 3,500. But guess what? It's not all about calories. See, in Shibboleth, we lose 3 times more weight than people who are just trying to control calories. Because if you got the same amount, the same results from 1,000 calories of Moose Tracks ice cream as you did from 1,000 calories of chicken breast and broccoli, it'd be all about calories. But it's not. It's about the calorie control, but it's also about the way that you combine the foods. So that's why we lose a lot more weight and more efficiently than people who are just trying to count calories. But here's the thing, we don't even have to count calories, because if we're doing a portion controlled meal that's properly combined, we don't really have to even concern ourselves with calories. But doing all these things will help you get into that calorie deficit. Okay, so we've talked about the first 4. And there's going to be videos that you can watch this week called the fast track videos that go a little bit longer into detail about each one of these things. And I know that it helps to hear things over and over and over in the beginning. And do you know there are people that come to class in Cartersville every single class, just about. And they've heard the same thing for years, but they come to remain motivated and focused on their goals. So the first 4 components that we just talked about, those are musts. You must hit those in order to say you've had a perfect day in your calendar. Now, just to give you a tip, in your journal, just to give you a tip about that, I get up in the morning and I mark my day right then. I know if I have a perfect day planned or if I have a holiday planned, and I mark that in my calendar that morning. And then I just don't let anything else happen that's going to say I need to have a holiday. So mark it early. The way I see this is you're determining your day. Don't let your day determine you. You determine the day. So one person asked me one time, well, do I just wait to the end of the day and see what kind of day I had? No, you definitely don't do that, because you're not mindfully doing everything you're supposed to do if you just wait until the end of the day and see how it turned out. So you mark perfect, and then that's what you're striving for that day. If something happened and you needed to change it to a holiday, you can change it to a holiday. That would be using up one of your holidays of the 6 that you get in a calendar month. If y'all have any questions, please feel free to ask. I may or may not get to them during the program. I might have to come back to them in the end, but I don't want you to forget. Okay, so this is the last component of the Shibboleth Shield. Now, here's the thing about this one. You don't have to meet this one exactly in order to call it a perfect day. But the reason we do that is only because of people's different work schedules and lives, because this one actually is extremely important. It's extremely important. But we tell you what you need to do for optimization, and then it's up to you to work that into whatever kind of hours that you work and whatever hours you are awake, because everybody's got different schedules. So timing is important. We basically graze too much. We're not cows. We don't need to graze. We need to have 3 meals a day, or up to 3 meals a day. You know, there's people who fast through breakfast and they just have lunch and dinner. That's totally fine if you're not a breakfast person. But if you do eat breakfast, eat within an hour or 2 of waking. Then you're going to have lunch 4 to 6 hours later, and then you're going to have dinner 4 to 6 hours later. One of the things that Travis says to do is to set your timer on your phone. So as soon as you finished eating breakfast, if you are going to eat lunch in 5 hours, set your timer and play beat the clock. Say, I'm waiting those 5 hours no matter what. And if you get hungry, go to your water. It'll satisfy you, I promise. So those are really the 3 meals that you should have in a day. And we always just say, eat breakfast for the Father, lunch for the Son, and dinner for the Holy Spirit. This is a biblically based program. That's where we also got the perfect day and the holiday from, because in the book of Revelation, it says that I wish that you were hot or cold, but you were lukewarm. Therefore, I spewed you out of my mouth. So we're not going to have okay days. We're going to have either a perfect day or a holiday. And then the Shibboleth Shield came from the armor of God. And if we use the armor of God every single day, we can take down any plans that are formed against us by the enemy And then I use the Shibboleth Shield to filter all my decisions through too. So this is a biblically based program. Now, I do try to be realistic. When I started Shibboleth, Travis said that if you ate more than 3 meals a day, that basically using these other things, it was a moment of mental weakness. Well, when I heard that, I said to myself, I'm not mentally weak. I'm not having those other things. I'm not having them. And so I didn't. In my weight loss, the three months that it took to get me to where I wanted to be to start off, I didn't have freebies and extras and snacks. I didn't do those things, but that was my choice. But I just like to teach it very realistically because I'd rather you utilize these things and stay in efficient fat burning and have good fat loss than to get frustrated. Because a lot of people will utilize these things in the beginning and then you kind of will wean yourself off of them. You can do what you need to do. But we still say it's allowed in moments of mental weakness or weak moments because we really could make it from breakfast to lunch and then lunch to dinner. Because water helps you satisfy so many things. But freebies, okay? Freebies are things that you could utilize anytime you need them. Freebies are things like all of your category 2 fibrous carbs. We're going to go over some of those in just a second, but that would be cucumbers, broccoli, bell peppers, things like that. Also, freebies are egg whites. Some people utilize dill pickles, and I've even seen sugar-free Jell-O, those kind of things. But to come up with what freebies are, go to your website. Go to your website and click on freebies, and then just read all the different options that there are there for freebies. And then you can see what can be utilized. Freebies are basically not going to have any impact on you negatively when it comes to calories or negatively when it comes to insulin. So then an extra is something that's kind of about 50 to 100 calories, maybe 50 to 90 calories. I can't remember the exact rule, but it's round about there. And you can have one extra in a day if you need it. So for example, at a Mexican restaurant, a quarter cup of cheese dip is considered an extra. So a lot of people like to use that when they have planned to go out Mexican with their friends. But I use a little thing called Cocoa Ringa. I love a little Cocoa Ringa. A lot of people will use bio coffee for their extra. And the reason that I say that those are good for extras is because you're sipping them, they're lasting much, much longer, and you're having, a lot of times eating is just about wanting a flavor in your mouth. And so that just lasts longer and you enjoy it. So there's no reason not to have that as an extra. But again, in the food library, you can click on extras and you can read through which ones are extras. There is a heart next to those items. Just heart them if you think you might like to try them. Once you've tried them, if you don't like them, you can unheart it and it will remove it from your favorites. And then there's a snack. Now, a snack is no more than 200 calories. And just to keep in mind, all of these things would have to be an approved item. So it's not just anything that's 200 calories or less. It would be an approved item because we make sure that it has the proper, we're still looking for the proper amount of protein and nutrients, even in the snack. So you could also utilize a snack. But I want you to keep in mind, let's say that you just ate freebies all day long. Well, see, freebies, usually they're going to burn themselves up in calories because there's so few calories in the freebies that just digesting them, chewing them, eating them is going to burn up calories. But let's just say that you pigged out on freebies all day. I'm just going to say you had 30 calories as a combined amount. And then let's just say you did a 70 calorie extra. Well, that's 30 and that's 70. There's 100 calories right there. Let's say you threw in a 200 calorie snack. That would be 300 calories right there. We're trying to get to a 3,500 calorie deficit. So do you see how 300 random calories that you might not need in a day is slowing down the process of you getting to that 3,500 calorie deficit? And so just keep that in mind. Now, if you want to do that and you don't mind that your journey is just a little bit slower, then you can do that. But if you're the type person that says, okay, I've made a decision, I want to get this done, then you're going to want to leave those things out. And just keep in mind that you don't have to do all of them in a day. Maybe you just want to do an extra, or maybe you just want to do a snack, or maybe you don't do the extra in the snack and you just do the freebies. So you don't have to utilize all of them. I just like to make sure you have these things at your disposal if you need them, because eating these things is still not going to take you out of EFB. And I'd rather somebody eat something that's approved and utilize all their resources and not come out of EFB. That's what I really want you to do, okay? So just keep all that in mind. You kind of have to strategize that for yourself. So category components 1 through 4, you have to meet. And this last one right here is for optimization. We don't tell you exactly how to do it, but I've just told you the best way to do it. So now we're going to get to one of the major secrets, okay? We've got EFB as a secret. The fact that you can get your body prepared to efficiently burn fat is a secret that most people don't know they can do. This is like a subtext of the main secret, EFB. Learning how to combine foods in a way that control insulin. That is huge, huge, huge. So we have, all you got to do is you learn there's 7 categories of food. So once you know the 7 categories, you're just going to start figuring out the foods that you like and what categories they're in, and then what you need to eat that with. It's really not hard at all, because on this program, you don't have to eat anything you don't like. If you don't, if we write Brussels sprouts on a list at some point in the future and you don't like Brussels sprouts, then you scratch Brussels sprouts off your list. Okay, so this is, I love this program because it's customizable to every single person's taste buds. So we've got category 1 is a lean protein. Category 2 is a fibrous carb. Category 3 is an energy carb. Category 4 is a protein plus fat. Category 5 is an antioxidant carb, which is fruit. Category 6 is superfood. And category 7 is shellfish, which is really just a lean protein. Okay, so there's 7 categories of food. Let's talk about category 2 and 3 real quick. There's a lot of vegetables in category 2 and 3. Not all vegetables respond the same way in your body. Therefore, they must be in their separate categories so that you'll know how to combine them properly. Let's talk about this carb, antioxidant carb. Antioxidants are great for you. Antioxidants pick up free radicals in our body. Free radicals are damaging to our cells. So this is where all fruit is, all your fruit. Fruit's great for you. Okay, but we are trying to accomplish a goal, of weight loss. So in weight loss, you have to treat fruit a little bit differently. Once you get into maintenance, fruit can be eaten as a snack by itself, but not in weight loss. Okay, so we can still have our fruit. We just have to treat it a little bit differently when you're in weight loss. Okay. So what I want you to write down right now, if you're taking notes, is I want you to learn the 5 things that you could eat by themselves, because there's certain things you don't even need to combine at all. So lean protein, you could eat lean protein all by itself. Fibrous carbs, you can eat them all by themselves. So let's say you have a giant fibrous carb veggie salad. That'd be great. Protein plus fat, category 4. You can eat it by itself. Let's say you wake up in the morning and there's nothing in the house but whole eggs. Scramble some eggs if you like eggs. Go to the grocery store that day and get what you need, but you still kept a perfect day. So you can have protein plus fat by itself. I go to a lot of luncheons, dinners, breakfast, things like that. You know, oftentimes I'm looking at all these little containers of food and they're just covered in all kinds of stuff. But if they've got a piece of meat, I'll eat the meat, and that's that. Okay, category 6, you can eat it by itself. That's all of your nuts, your nut butters, avocado, garbanzo beans or hummus, and all those things are in there. And then 7, shellfish, you can eat it by itself. So there are 5 of the 7 that you can eat by themselves. But I'm going to revisit protein plus fat real quick. Optimally, if you're going to eat a protein plus fat, you would pair it with a category 2 fibrous carb. If you needed to, I always say you can eat category 4 by itself in a pinch, but optimally it would be eaten with a category 2 fibrous carb. So if you'll notice, the only 2 that I skipped that you can't eat by themselves is this energy carb and this fruit. You do not want to eat them by themselves in weight loss. Category 3, you don't want to eat by itself even in maintenance, but this one you can once you get to maintenance. Now here's the thing about these energy carbs. If you do eat one by itself, you just mark it as a holiday. You just mark it as a holiday and move on. So that's no big deal, but you just got to strategize your holidays, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at these right here. And I kind of like to work it backwards. I like to work it like this. Let's say you want to eat an energy carb. Well, energy carbs are things like corn, grits, cooked carrots, tomatoes, onions, all of your light colored beans, all peas. Even if it's a green pea, it's here. So let's just say you want some lima beans, okay? So what you're going to do is eat about 1/4 cup of lima beans, but you're going to have it with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So if you're going to eat the lima beans, which are a category 3 energy carb, you must pair it with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So what that might look like is a chicken breast with some green beans and some lima beans. That would make a perfectly combined meal. You're still going to portion control that, okay? But what is happening, and this is important, this is really important that I feel like you know this is important. The reason that you're pairing those together is because the lima beans are going to bring a little bit of an insulin release. They just are, because that's what they do. But you're allowing the protein in the lean protein and the fiber in the fibrous carb to neutralize the insulin release that is coming from the energy carb. Yay! That's how you eat that right there and stay in efficient fat burning. You're going to stay in efficient fat burning. Now, it's a little bit slower process in the fat burning anytime you add a 3 or a 5 and even a 6, okay? And I'll explain why in a second. But you didn't come out of EFB for the purposes of our timing chart, okay? Now, let's talk about number 5, category 5. Let's say that you want some blueberries. So you just do about a 1/4 cup of blueberries. And, you know, I usually think about it as like breakfast time. So you might want to make yourself an egg white spinach omelet, because if you're going to eat a category 5, just like the category 3, you must pair it with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So make yourself a little egg white omelet, put some spinach in it, and there you go. But in this fibrous carb category, there's over 60 approved bread or bread type items. Here's the wonderful thing about Shibboleth. We do not exclude any macronutrients. We teach you how to take what you're already eating, and you might need to tweak a brand. You might need to buy a different brand of something, and you might need to pair it in a different way, but it's foods from the grocery store that you're already eating. We just teach you how to eat it in a properly combined way. So I lost my train of thought. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. So if you're going to eat a category 5, you would just want to eat it with 1 and 2. Oh, okay. So let's say that you have a category 5, but then you have some blueberries. Let's say you could use them as a condiment amount, which we're going to talk about condiments possibly tonight, but for sure tomorrow night. This right here, let's say you want to have a 1/4 cup of blueberries. Let's say you want to have some Oikos 000 yogurt, which is a lean protein. Let's say you want a piece of toast. You want some Sara Lee 45 calorie delightful multigrain toast. Well, that is fruit and the proper toast with Oikos 000 yogurt, and there's another delicious breakfast meal. So honestly, it is just writing down all the things that you find that go together that you like. Now, in the beginning, your first 7 to 10 days, if you'll leave off the 3s and the 5s, you'll have the best results. If you just can't leave them off, that's fine, but you'll have your best results if you leave off the 3s and the 5s for sure. Okay, let's look at this category 4, protein plus fat, real quick. What I want you to understand is what goes on inside your body. So let's say you've gone to a steakhouse and you've ordered a steak and a baked potato, which is a classic order, It's not a good order, but it is a classic order. So you've ordered this steak. Well, there's some extra fat in there. It's a great protein, but there's extra fat. That fat is now floating around inside your body. That would actually be no big deal if you hadn't paired it with the potato, because the potato, and usually it's not even a reasonably sized potato, it's huge. It brings a large insulin release, and insulin, remember what we called it earlier, the fat buzz? Its job is to pick up that fat and store it. Say that to yourself. Insulin's job is to pick up fat and store it. Well, dang, I don't want to store any fat. My goodness, I want to burn fat. So now, if I'm going to go to the steakhouse, I'm going to order myself a steak, but I'm not going to pair it with a potato or French fries or a sweet potato or anything like that. I'm going to pair it with the broccoli, the green beans, the side salad, the vegetable medley, all of those things, because you ate this protein plus fat, right? There's fat floating around in your body because of it. No big deal. You didn't pair it with anything that brings an insulin release. So therefore, there's nothing going around and picking up that fat and storing it. You're just going to burn that off as energy. There you go. So no fat got stored because you did not have an insulin release. It really is just about combining foods in a way that control insulin. Let's look at category 6 superfood real quick though. See, category 6 superfood has all of the macronutrients in there. So it's got water, fat, protein, and carbs in there. So you don't want to pair this one with a category 4 either, okay? Because it brings a little bit more of an insulin release because of just, it's got more carbs in it. So you don't want to pair anything that brings more of an insulin release with a protein plus fat, So let's just put this down. If you're taking notes, you do not eat a category 4 with a 3, 5, or 6. You don't eat a category 4 with a 3, 5, or 6 because those things are going to store the fat that's there. But let's say you wanted some surf and turf at the restaurant. That's 4 and a 7. Totally fine. Put it with a 2. Let's say you want to have some steak and some chicken. Totally fine. That's a 4 and a 1. Put it with a 2. So anytime you have a 4 on your plate, you don't eat it with a 3, 5, or 6. And I hope that's making sense. Y'all tell me if this is making sense. I'm gonna give y'all a chance to answer and look and see if anybody's watching on Facebook real quick. Okay, awesome. Beth says it's making sense. Peggy's giving me a smiley face. That is awesome. Let's see. Oh, good. Trina. Hey, Trina. I got you on my list. I'm so glad you made it on here. That is awesome. Okay. Let's see. Hey, Andrea. I see Andrea on here. That's awesome. And Joyce. Hey, Joyce. Awesome. Okay. Fantastic. Well, I'm glad that it's making sense. Good. Kim says, yes, it's making perfect sense. So does Karen, and so does Sharon. Awesome. And Sharon's giving me a little smiley face. That is great. Because that's really it. You just got to know you've got to figure out the foods that you like that are in these. So see, one of the assignments this week is make yourself a list of 10 lean proteins that you like. And then make a list of 10 fibrous carbs that you like. And then you're just going to mix and match those, cook them up in some MCT oil, And then you've got a perfect fat burning meal, a perfect fat burning meal. And then we're going to dive deeper into this week, but you got to have an overview first. Okay, so you're going to familiarize yourself with a chart. There's a chart, it's called, actually there's two charts. You could use the phase 1 chart, or you could use the advanced combination chart. But if you want to keep it simple, just use the phase 1 chart. And that is going to be in one of the videos this week. Okay, so that's right above the fast track videos. There's 10 blue links right above the fast track videos, and it says phase 1 chart and advanced combination chart. That is just the charts that you're going to look at to see which foods can go together. But tomorrow night's webinar is all about that. But you're going to want to familiarize yourself with the charts. I would screenshot the charts and have it on my phone, and I would print them out so I can have them in my kitchen because you want them handy. Honestly, this stuff in my head now is absolutely it's just there now. But in the beginning, you know, anytime you're learning anything, it takes a minute, and you want to have all your resources right there at your fingertips, okay? But this right here, in the beginning, keep it simple, really, really simple. A 1 plus a 2 plus MCT, or a 7 and a 2 plus MCT. Those are your fastest fat burning meals. And we're going to talk about MCT oil in just a second, because the MCT is an oil. And you don't even have to use that oil, but MCT amps it up just a little bit. So that's why we call that burning fat, blowtorching fat like you're blowtorching butter when you add that MCT oil. Then throw in some meal replacements, because meal replacements just happen to make our lives easy. You know, if you're not somebody that likes to get up and cook breakfast in the morning, have a meal replacement. Or maybe you made yourself breakfast in the morning, but you didn't have time to make yourself lunch. Throw something in your purse or your briefcase when you're going off for the day. Then you're going to branch out, but keep it simple in the beginning, okay? Okay, we talked about all of those, but I want to look at this bottom statement. When at a restaurant, all meat must be considered a category 4. So at home, let's say you were going to cook yourself a piece of chicken at home. Well, a chicken breast is a category 1 lean protein. Well, so you go to the restaurant and you think, I'm going to have chicken because I want some lean protein. That would be a great thought, but we don't know what oil they cooked it in. So what happens then is you've just turned a lean protein into a protein plus fat, because it was probably cooked in an unapproved oil. So that is why all meat at a restaurant needs to be considered a category 4. Now, when you consider something a category 4, you're going to only eat it at a restaurant with a category 2. And I hope that makes sense. So all meat must be considered a category 4 at a restaurant, even if at home you would call it a lean protein, or even if at home you would call it shellfish or shrimp, shellfish. But at a restaurant, you got to call it all 4. And then to keep yourself safe, you'll order it with broccoli, asparagus, side salad, you know, those kind of things. All right, so now we're going to talk about the approved oils. So there's a few approved oils. Our number 1 highly recommended is MCT oil. MCT stands for medium chain triglyceride. And we do sell what we consider the best at the Shibboleth store. It's the Zero Drag brand. And the Zero Drag brand, see, Travis goes through and looks at a lot of products, and he does not recommend a product if he doesn't think it's the best. So that's why I just buy the Zero Drag brand from the Shibboleth store. You can order it right online. They'll ship it right to your house. It ships out of Dalton, Georgia, and it would just ship right wherever you are. So if you want to get some, go ahead and go on there and order some, because that's one of the best to have. And a lot of people go to grocery store after grocery store after grocery store trying to find 100% MCT oil, because a lot of them are 98% and that kind of stuff. You want 100% MCT oil. And also, There was one I saw the other day that was an approved MCT oil, but when I looked at it, one of them had the one that we recommend has 100 calories per tablespoon, where the other one, although it said 100% potency, I don't know what that means, but when I looked at that, it had 130 calories per tablespoon. So that to me said something's up with that one. I don't want that one. So this one's right here the best. Or Travis also recommends the Now brand from Amazon. But I like for y'all to support the Shibboleth, because Travis and Sasha really don't charge enough for this program. And if you help support the store, it helps support the ministry. Okay, the other things that you can use are coconut oil, which is 60% MCT oils. But the other 40% are long-chain triglycerides. So then we have ghee butter, GHE, which is a clarified butter. A lot of people use that when they're wanting a butter flavor on something, like an approved grilled cheese, or that type of thing. And then you can obviously use a 0-calorie cooking spray, PAM, or whatever, any type of 0-calorie cooking spray. But I'm going to come back to this baby right here, the MCT oil. First of all, it's thermogenic, so it helps burn a little extra calories, so it gives a little kickstart. It has almost no propensity to be stored in the body as fat. It burns up like that. In fact, it burns up so quickly that when you're using it for cooking, which is what you should use it for, cooking. We don't just take it as a supplement, and we don't make bulletproof coffee with it or anything like that. You're going to cook with it. But when you put it in the pan, you're going to, let's say you're going to do 1 piece of chicken, use 1 tablespoon of oil. If you're doing 4 pieces of chicken, you could use 4 tablespoons of oil. It burns up so quickly that if you don't cook it on low to medium heat, it will set off your smoke detector. Okay, so please, whatever you do, make sure you cook that on low to medium heat. But just me saying that, and I hope that hearing that tells you, wow, it really does burn up quickly. Because if I'm having to cook it on low to medium heat, that just shows you that it burns up quickly. Well, think about that. Let's just say you used 1 tablespoon of it. If there's 100 calories in that, you put it in the pan, some of that's going to burn up in the cooking of it. And so when you burn that up, the cooking of it, you don't even get in the whole 100 calories, which is good. But then the parts that you do get help you ramp up or rev up the calorie burning effect, because MCT oil is thermogenic. Now, let's compare this to an LCT, long-chain triglyceride. Long-chain triglycerides are vegetable oil, olive oil, canola oil, things like that. They take a very, 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 very long time to burn up in the body. So therefore, they have a great propensity to be stored on the body as fat. Well, there you go. You just switch over your oils, and you're going to be utilizing an oil that burns up like that. So when you expend energy throughout the day and your body needs to get energy, if we haven't been giving it easy sources of energy, it has to then access stored energy, which is fat. There you go. There's a secret right there. So we're going to switch over our oils, and then we're also going to, if we control the category 3s, which are the energy carbs and those fruits, we're not giving our body that easy, accessible energy. When we are expending energy throughout the day, we access stored energy and we burn fat that way. So that is tremendously amazing. And if you happen to go walking some, you're just ramping up the whole thing. I'm not even asking you to go to the gym. Just get some walking in. Walking is so good for you. And so get some walking in. You're even accessing even more stored fat, because you don't have any long chain triglycerides running around in there that your body's accessing. You haven't given it any easily accessible carbs like lima beans, peas, sweet potatoes, and you're not giving it any fruit, then it's not going to, it'll burn stored fat. Now, those other things, you can utilize them. You just have to pair them in the right way, okay, to stay in the best efficient fat burning. You won't do them at all in the beginning, like 7 to 10 days. But you could have them if you wanted to, but for the best results, not. So basically, don't bring the fat bus. After I learned what the fat bus was and I went to the very first luncheon that I went to after that, I started talking to that food. I said, you're bringing the fat bus. You're bringing the fat bus. I'm not having the fat bus. So that's when I ended up that day just eating some, it was some deli meat I pulled out of a sandwich and ate that, called that a category 4 protein plus fat, and ate that day. So after a holiday, because I want, this is, oh, what's so great about this program is really what Shibboleth is. It's a management system. It's a management system to help you do the best that you can for your body. But it also allows us to live a life of balance. It's so, so important to live a life of balance, because a lot of people in life, they're either really, really on and they're counting calories and doing everything they're supposed to be doing, or what they think they're supposed to be doing. And then, and as soon as they mess up, they're like, I'm done. I'm not going to do this. I can't keep up with this. And then you're just eating whatever you want to, whenever you want to, as much as you want to, and all of that. But see, we don't have to do that in Shibboleth. We can have delicious food, because y'all check out those recipes in the recipe library. You will not be disappointed. We're having delicious food on our perfect days, and you'll feel so good after these perfect days. Your energy level is going to be out the roof, and you're going to be hydrated, and it's going to be awesome. But planned or unplanned, a holiday is going to come. I mean, you're going to, like next month, there's Valentine's Day. I might want to go out to dinner with my husband, and I might not want to have a steak and broccoli. I might want to have the dessert, or whatever. And then my birthday is coming up February 16th. I'll be 50. So my birthday is coming up. So maybe I want to have that. So I will look at the month when February 1st gets here. I'm going to say holiday on the 14th, holiday on the 16th. My other question is going to be, am I going out of town? If I'm going out of town, I'm going to call those holidays. And but I'm not going to have more than 6 in weight loss. But I'm going to plan those out, because see, in your mind, if you know a holiday is coming, it's much easier for you to have a perfect day. After you've done this for so much time, perfect days are going to be just like your new normal. You're not going to have to worry about that. In the beginning, you're thinking about it a lot, but after a while, you're not going to even be thinking about it. It'll just be what you do. But after you have a holiday, it takes 2 perfect days to get back into EFB. Because once you have a holiday, you've got a lot of insulin, glycogen, sodium, other things running around in your body that you need to get rid of. So it takes about 48 hours for all of that to dissipate and go away. So on your 3rd perfect day after a holiday, you're back into efficient fat burning, and then you string as many efficient fat burning days together. And then planned or unplanned, another holiday's coming. And so then you just have to realize after that, 2 perfect days to get back into EFB. Because see, this isn't something that you're going to eventually just be done with, because this is for the rest of your life. This is a lifestyle that you're going to be living for the rest of your life, because it's going to help you reach your goal. And then once you're at your goal, it's going to help you maintain that goal while you're still enjoying everything that you do too. Shibboleth brought food back into my life. It brought chocolate back into my life. I mean, there's so much that Shibboleth has done for me. It's absolutely amazing. We're about to wrap this up. Let me know if y'all have any questions. Oh, I see one right there. Sharon, yes, you should journal on a holiday. And so here's the thing. Everybody wants to journal their perfect days because they're so proud of them, okay? But then you don't want to journal your holiday because you feel like you've done something wrong. Some people do. I'm telling you, enjoy both days, because they're both fine. You just utilize them in the way they're meant to be used. But you do journal your holidays, because you actually can learn a lot about any behavior that you might want to be correcting while you journal your holidays. So you definitely want to journal your holidays too. Okay, so the first question that everybody asks is, what am I going to eat? Well, you're going to eat all the foods that you like. Just make sure they're approved by looking them up in the food library. I don't personally buy anything at the grocery store anymore that's not approved. I don't buy it and then come home and go, is this approved? No, I look it up in the store if I have to, or I've looked it up before I've gone to the store. But I don't buy it unless I'm sure that it is approved. Because then eventually you'll get to the spot where you don't even need to look it up anymore because you've already figured out, ooh, I like this tortilla now, or I like this loaf bread now. You just switch those products over. But if you'll go into this group, whether you're looking at the fast track group or you're in the second chance group, just to let you know, you don't need to be in both groups. They're exactly the same. They're exactly the same. It just depends on how we get the people in the groups. Some people needing a refresh, go to the second chance group. And those brand new people go to the fast track group, but we take them through the exact same thing. But if you'll go into whichever group you're in and scroll down to the bottom of the feed, because I keep this feed cleaned out. I don't have a bunch of stuff in there that we don't need. Now, if you post in there this week, of course, we'll answer your questions and stuff. But if you really want to get opinions, please post it in the silver level group, because all the people in the new group or the second chance group, they're often people that really don't have a lot of the knowledge that you're looking for. And I'm not monitoring the group all day, so you might not get your answer as fast and you may not have as varied answers. So ask your questions in the silver level group. There's over 8,000 people in those groups and in that group, and they were happy to give you their opinion. I saw a question on salad dressing or the Walden Farms salad dressings this week, and it was bam, 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 bam. You won't get that type of response in these groups. So if you got a question about something, ask it in the silver level group. But feel free to post in the new member group, but you see what I'm saying. But basically, I'm saying all of that to tell you that if you'll scroll down to the bottom, it's not like it's a never-ending group, okay, because I keep it cleaned out. Scroll down to the bottom. Make sure you've looked at all the documents that I have in the group. Make sure that you've joined all the Facebook groups that you need to be a part of. So if you will take the posts that are in this group as little assignments and do them, you'll get yourself set up for success. But if you'll go back to those, there are 4 meal plans. If you're wondering what should I eat, there are 4 meal plans in there that I did in December where you can get, there's 3 breakfast, lunch, and dinner ideas with snacks and freebies all listed in there. So there's 12 breakfast, lunches, and dinners listed right there. And then I also give you what I ate for my first 20 days. And I want you to know there was no magical meal plan. It was not. I probably ate 30 Mighty Muffins. It was crazy. A Mighty Muffin is something that you can buy at Walmart. You can buy them at the Shibboleth. We have a larger variety than Walmart does, but you can get them at Walmart. I've also seen them at Kroger. They're more expensive at Kroger than Walmart. But if you want the best variety, we do have them at the Shibboleth store, and you can order them from Amazon or wherever. But the Mighty Muffins are really good. So I had a whole bunch of Mighty Muffins in the beginning, but I did that because I'm just trying to make it through while I'm learning this. But during those 20 days, I lost 12.5 pounds, and I was eating yummy Mighty Muffins. I don't eat nearly the amount of Mighty Muffins now, but I did what I had to do in the beginning to get it all learned. But now I know the lean proteins that I like. I know the fibrous carbs that I like, but I listed them out in the beginning. What do I like? And then I just, like you're in elementary school, you're going to take a pencil, you're going to draw a line from this one to this one. I want to eat that together. You're going to draw a line from this one to this one. I want to eat that together. And you write those down, and basically you're creating yourself a meal plan. If you will watch the posts that are in the silver level group, you are going to see all kinds of ideas that you want to try. And my friend Janine Floyd, who's a teacher over at McClure Middle School, she's made some great recipes the last 2 weeks and has posted it on there. So you might want to watch for her posts too. Throw in a few meal replacements for simplicity, and you really do have a very easy meal plan because you're going to be utilizing that water to keep you full. You're going to have breakfast in the morning if you're a breakfast eater. You're going to wait 4 to 6 hours for lunch, 4 to 6 hours for dinner. And that's what you should try to eat. If you need to, go to a freebie, an extra, or a snack. but I would not try to utilize all of them. Last but not least, Shibboleth provides so much support. So we've got all the Facebook groups that I just talked about. The silver level group is great because there's so many people in there, but we have another group called the Shibboleth Fixed It group. And the link to that is in this group. If you go down, all the links are in this group. But what you would do there is you would post a picture of the front of an item and the back of an item and say, is this approved or can it be approved? If you don't find it in the food library, always look it up in the food library first. And then if you can't find it, but you think it should be something that would be approved, take a picture. There's a girl named Kim Shibboleth, which is not me. When you guys see a Kim Shibboleth, a Joni Shibboleth, or a Missy Shibboleth, or Amy Shibboleth responding to things, that's your Facebook team. That's your mentor team. So they're responding to all of those, and they're just using Shibboleth as their last name to do their job. But get in the support groups for the Facebook. That's really important. If you don't have Facebook, it's okay. Just go to the website often. We have our amazing website where you can see your profile. It'll keep track of your weight. It'll keep track of your progress in graphs and all kinds of amazing things for visuals. You've got your journal. This thing will even give you exercise assignments if you want it. And then you've got your timing chart. You've got your food library, your recipe library, and your restaurant guide. Those are some of the most important. And then what I want you to do, go through this week of Fast Track, but go ahead and schedule a mentor appointment for next week. Because this week you're going through Fast Track, but if you have a mentor appointment with Kim, Joni, or Missy, next week, you'll be able to ask any clarifying questions from this week, okay? So I'd go ahead and set that up. You set that up as mentor.genbook.com. And then just focus this week on the Fast Track. I tell everybody, you got to focus. This is only the information you're going to need for the rest of your life. You might as well focus in and learn it. And if you focus in and you learn this, you'll be so much better off. You will lose more weight than other people will because you've got in your mind and your heart the scientific knowledge of, hey, I don't do that to my body anymore because this is going to bring an insulin release and it's going to store fat. I now know how to get into efficient fat burning. I'm going to get there and I'm going to stay there. When a holiday comes, I'm going to enjoy my holiday. But after that, I'm not going to stay in holiday mode for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months before I come back. I'm coming right back to my perfect days. I have 2 perfect days. I get back into EFB and I'm losing weight again. So it really is a lifestyle of balance, and it just provides amazing support. It is a wonderful community, and I'm going to check and see if you guys have any questions. But tomorrow night, we will do a webinar on food combining, and then each day you're going to get a post in the morning. Awesome. Okay, Kim. Well, we're about to hop off, so thank you. You're welcome. And Kim, you're here for a refresh. Okay, I'm gonna check on you this week. I hope your husband gets to feeling better. And let's see if anybody posted on Facebook. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Deborah and Christy and Lisa. Okay, and Trina, I'll send that to you in a little bit, Trina. Okay. You're welcome. Well, you guys are awesome, and I just want to keep you encouraged to do this, because I know so many people that have tried many other things, and this is what I like to say. Weight loss has often seemed like a mystery to people, but it doesn't need to be a mystery anymore. You just have to know what works and what doesn't work. Set your plan into place. Follow your plan. Be determined that you are going to follow your plan. And y'all reach out to us if you have any questions. We're here for you, and we want the best success for you. And unless you guys have any other questions, we're going to hop off. Oh, darn. I didn't hit record. Oops.